immensely. Now, every other person I speak to, any of my banking friends, I see that somewhere or else, we have this audits going on, and it's a pattern, I would say, and it's a good evolvement in a way. I definitely want to say that RBI is doing a fantastic job where they have proactively strengthened the cybersecurity framework, and they want this to be like a standardized approach. So that's what I feel, what we were earlier and what we are today.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the GB show. As World's Women Day is around the corner, we thought we will be celebrating this March month as Women's Month at all. So to celebrate the Women's Month, for all the 5 episodes which we are going to shoot in the month of March are going to be with the female cybersecurity leads. Though every day is a Women's Day, but this month we are dedicated specifically to all the female leaders out there. And to do the first episode on this, I have with me Shivani Arni. She is having around 20 plus years of experience in cybersecurity space. She has worked with IT, ITS and the banking sector, and she has been in the auditor roles as well as the CISO. And we are going to talk to her about the cybersecurity scene in banking sector and RBI's guidelines. So let's hear her out. Hello Shivani, welcome to the GB show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in and giving us your precious time. And I think you have been in the industry from a long time, and being one of the female leading CISO in the Indian ecosystem, right? So I think you have done a great journey in the cybersecurity, and I vouch for it. You're doing a fantabulous job, I must say. So to start with, for my audience, when I think you have spent a lot of good time in the banking sector.
Yes.
How in your career have you seen the cybersecurity has evolved in the banking sector, and what is the scene today?
So firstly, to start with, I think when it comes to the banking sector, definitely we think of customer trust. I think data protection and trust gaining of the end customers is very important in the banking sector, because everybody is trusting us to keep their money safe, keep their data safe. So it has evolved a lot. I mean, if I have to talk from a regulatory angle, what really we have seen is pre-2016, if I have to talk about, it was more of just the guidelines which were going to every other bank, that, okay, do 1, 2, 3 things and all that. But what we've seen, the evolvement is post-2016, when we had our first RBI cybersecurity framework, which started to talk about different things within, what and every bank needs to follow. I personally have worked with a credit bureau, and credit bureaus also follow the same cybersecurity standards what an RBI is actually expecting a banking sector to follow.
Okay.
So what we've seen is there is more of enhanced security posture what they have expecting. They expect a lot of, the reporting culture. What we've seen in the past and what we've seen today has evolved immensely. The expectations from the regulator on compliance related activities. I mean, if we see like 10 years back, we've not heard of a lot of these audits, C-side coming in, or the teams from the RBI itself, different departments coming in and sitting and understanding the whole process. But it's evolved like immensely. Now, every other person I speak to, any of my banking friends, I see that somewhere or else, we have this audits going on.
Okay.
And it's a pattern, I would say, and it's a good evolvement. In a way, I definitely want to say that RBI is doing a fantastic job where they have proactively strengthened the cybersecurity framework, and they want this to be like a standardized approach. So that's what I feel, what we were earlier and what we are today.
Okay, great to learn that, banking sector, of course, they need to gain the trust of the customer, and cybersecurity is quite important for them. And you have
Absolutely.
mentioned two things. One is the RBI, the cybersecurity framework,
Yes.
and a lot of audits which are happening.
Absolutely.
So if I ask like how RBI has taken it specifically, and what changes they have bring on the table, and what are you will see because cybersecurity is emerging every day in day out, and new
Absolutely.
recent threats are coming in. So how you think the RBI's guidelines are coping up with that, and what new frameworks, or what is in the framework you are talking about, and
Right.
what is more coming in over there?
Right. I think out of when we talk about frameworks, Gaurav, it's like, we know there is ISO, we know SOC 2, we know PCI, we know CIS controls. We have cybersecurity framework. What RBI has done, the regulator has done, is he's actually combined all of these things and
Okay.
has created its own way of putting it across to the banking sector, I would say, which is definitely very, very helpful. It's not like it's talking any different language from what our existing frameworks are talking. But then when it's managing compliance to the security framework given by the regulator, I think we have to think twice before we say, yes, we are compliant to what regulator is actually expecting us to do. Obviously, like I said, it's not anything, like a different altogether. It is talking about the same application security, vulnerability management, governance, risk and compliance, patch management, etc., etc. I mean, these are not like unknown subjects for us, right? These are like all same subjects. But then, how do we really gauge ourselves or say measure ourselves that, are we really, really complying to these things at all? What helps is to adopt the other frameworks as well, because it's going to make our lives easy, right? Now, ISMS, if I have to talk about ISO, it is actually helping you implement policies, govern the policies. When I go the next level, PCI, I have like card data holders data, which I'm protecting from cyber threats, etc. CIS controls. CIS controls actually talk about so many things, the top 20 CIS controls. It starts from asset management till everything to do with cyber threat, incident management and everything. While I may be able to like compare myself, I'm saying 90% at CIS. I say 30% at SOC 2 because I've not experimented with SOC 2 yet. Or if I want to experiment, then SOC 2 covers a certain point of controls. So when I combine all these things, I think that makes me more confident and go back to the regulator saying, yes, not just the regulatory thing, but I also have other frameworks which are helping me in enhanced security posture.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, this is how I would look at it. And additionally, I think the content which is there within the framework, cybersecurity framework from the regulator is more precise. While ISMS may say, control so and so, but this is actually giving me a detail on what exactly am I supposed to look at. Well, yes, I mean, there have been challenges. People interpret the way they want to. But, we're not talking a different subject. We're still doing the same thing, protecting data and gaining customers' trust.
So I think in banking sector, so one advantage which we have compared to the life of a CISO in other industries, right? You have RBI guidelines,
Correct.
Okay, and you can just simply say that because RBI wants you to do this, so to the business you can say they have to do it, right?
Correct.
But still, the journey is not easy, right?
It is not.
If I talk about the challenges, what challenges you have faced while complying with RBI guidelines, or if I say implementing cybersecurity at top notch in any bank?
Understood. So I think, so all banks are different, right? I mean, everybody might not have everything what a big bank has. Not all PSUs might have everything what a private bank has. Similarly, all CICs are different, credit institutions. So there are certain challenges which we all have to work within ourselves, along with the IT teams and our compliance team, our risk team, basically trying to understand how much is good for us, right? Am I really want to go and touch the sky? Or do I really know that, okay, this is where I am and this is where I have to reach. I don't need to, go for the sky. So when it comes to challenges, obviously, the biggest challenge I would face is, regulator is expecting you to do a lot of things. Do I have internal support for that? Do I have backup or resiliency in my infrastructure to accommodate all of that, what a framework is demanding from me? Do I have resources for that? Am I getting the right approvals and budgets in place? So, or am I doing the right thing with what I have? And am I actually letting the board know? Because a regulator is expecting you to go and talk to the board as well. There are so many committees that we have to form based on what the framework says, what the advisories and circulars come from the RBI. So how am I even able to talk about all these challenges in that forum? Am I bringing out that point? Is it taken positively? So I think communication is something which is very important, I would say. And as a CISO, if you are not eloquent enough to go and tell the story of your side, at least, whether the things are bought or not is the secondary thing. But at least if I'm able to convey what my things are, what challenges am I facing, and there's a certain section where it says you have to present to the board, talk about vulnerability management, talk about your how are you enhancing the security posture, what is the incidents or events which have happened, and how quickly have you actually mitigated them or remediated or contained them. So when I have something, then that data actually helps and put there, show to the board. Is that fetching you the support? You need to comply with the RBI guidelines. And I think, like I said, the audits which have started, they have had a bigger impact, and they are actually positively impacting in a positive way for a CISO to shine wherever they are and bring out the real things in the company.
Okay. So I have a follow-up question on this.
Sure.
When I say that you're talking about audit, they help CISO to shine, right?
Correct.
So you have been auditor yourself in the life, and now you are facing the audits, right? How you think that CISO's perspective, changed for you when you actually become the CISO and you understand what is behind the table, and or auditor's perspective, what just happened when you switched the role?
So earlier, I used to enjoy asking questions, Gaurav. I loved, pinpointing things that you don't have this, you don't have that. Now I have come to the other side of the table, like you just mentioned. What I do now is I try to protect. While I don't believe in justifying myself, if there's a gap, there is a gap. And if we have to work on it, we have to work on it. But things where we do have things, and if I have to ensure that I'm convincing the guy, the auditor, saying, no, sir, we actually do this very well. I want you to acknowledge this for us. I mean, it gets difficult, being on the other side and the other across the table. But I think I've learned the tactics.
Okay.
Because of the amount of years I've spent on this side and that side. I know both the scales. I know how to balance it. So it's helped me. So now what I do is I generally present the facts. I mean, you're not here to build stories with the auditors, which I have experienced. People tell stories to me when I used to audit them. But now I understand both the sides. I mean, what's gonna work for him or her to ensure that they say, yes, this is okay, Shivani.
Okay. So if I say you need to, you will think Shivani as an auditor or a CISO. Choose one.
CISO.
CISO. Okay, fair enough. So that's the better deal in that case. So my thing, Shivani, I think CISOs, when we talk about, so there are very few female CISOs in the industry, right?
Yes.
So it's man dominating, I must say, though, because that's a story, because we do for the events, we meet the CISOs and there are very few female out there who are leading the cybersecurity in the organization. So have this been any challenge for you ever, or in your career span, as a gender based, any challenges you have faced, or which you think, where other person is getting advantage or you were on the other side, or because when we talk about CISO's role, it's 24/7 and it's a challenging role. So have you ever felt like I'm in the wrong domain or something, or any challenges you like to share with us?
Unfortunately, I think I have been in good books.
Okay.
And I have not faced this gender bias comments and all that.
Okay.
Whoever I have worked with till date and whichever company I have worked with, I've always got that support from my team, from my bosses. But yes, I think I do hear about all of these things, and sometimes you take a back step and think, what could what could you contribute to get a change in this perspective, what people have. I think biggest challenge would be sometimes, women are not considered technical. Maybe you could look at a woman for a governance, risk and compliance kind of a profile, but that's not true. I mean, we have so many technically savvy women in the industry today.
Yeah.
They can outrage all the men. But yes, I mean, I think that's one thing which I've observed, generally there is a norm saying, women can't be technical, but I think things are changing. I've seen such beautiful ladies actually coming in. They are like tech experts. Kavita, if I can mention her name, she's a big expert in all of these application security related items and all that. I see so many other women who are like technically strong. They're running the security operations center. I mean, it's not, while, I don't want to make it obvious that a woman is able to lead it, but then if it has to be made obvious, then let's make it obvious.
Why not? And there are, people who are watching you at this point of time. And there are many young females out there who want to make a career in cybersecurity, and they are afraid that this is a challenging job which is out there. And what kind of advice you would like to give them, and what works best for you? Maybe I will like you to talk to my audience directly.
Sure, why not? So, I know cybersecurity is not just for men or not just for women. It's like anyone who's interested, is passionate about this subject, you're most welcome in this industry. And this is a never die industry. It's gonna just keep evolving as we talk. So what you need to prepare on, I think one is be very passionate about what subject you're getting into. Two is, keep that passion on, because you will face challenges. You will have to keep yourself updated on what's going on a daily basis. Whether it is whichever industry you go, cybersecurity is going to be important for you. Third is keep up with the, latest what's happening, so that you're up to the mark. When your boss asks you, do you know about this? Then you have an answer. And obviously, like I just mentioned in my previous talk, saying, that women are not considered technically savvy, then let's change that perception, what people have. Let's become more technically savvy. If we have to prepare ourselves for an examination within application security or vulnerability management, then I think right thing to choose. Don't shy away. Just go for it and show it to the world that we can also be technically savvy.
Awesome. I think awesome advice, and these insights which we have given my audience, I think must be loving it. And first of all, thank you for being the first guest of Women's Special Month, which we are doing, and wishing you a happy Women's Day in advance.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on my show. And here I have something for you, small goodie. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is beautiful.
Okay, everyone. I'll see you next Sunday. Till then, take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow.